Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. How you guys doing? We are here for a live stream building up to the Derby di Milano, of course. The hype starting to build up. A few of the players have done some interviews, some very interesting interviews in the build up to this game. And yeah, just trying to do a little live stream, interact with you guys, get your thoughts and feelings coming into this. And see how everyone's feeling coming into this. And yeah, for the people that are in here already, let me get one question out to you guys, and you guys can comment, and I'll get these comments up throughout the stream. What is your favorite Derby di Milano goal, Derby della Madonnina, whatever you want to call it? What is your favorite goal from this fixture? For me, the goal that always comes to mind is Maicon's goal when Inter won 4-2, I believe it was. Was it the 2012-13 season? I can't quite remember exactly which season it was, but yeah, the Maicon goal from like 40, 35 yards out, hits it with the, a little bit of the outside of the boot, a little like slice on it, and like top corner. That was a beautiful one. What other ones? Brozovic's one a few seasons back when we made the comeback 4-2. That was a nice volley goal as well. Yeah, you guys let me know in the comments below which ones stand out to you, which one is your favorite one. It might not even be a pretty one, it might just be a really important one. It doesn't have to be necessarily an amazing goal for it to be your favorite one. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think, and let me know your thoughts going into this derby. And let's see who is in the house. Bruno Di Pasquale in the house. What's up, brother? Hope you are doing well. Joseph, is the first live stream you're watching, then yeah, welcome to the first ever live stream. But of course, it's not just on the live stream. You can always re-watch. If you missed the live stream, you can always watch it later. Thank you, Bruno, for the nice words. Yeah, we'll get into these Brozovic rumors, which I'm not giving too much credence to, but the rumors are starting to a little bit flare up, so we'll talk about those. I am Nate, channel member in the house. What's up, brother? Jake as well, another channel member in the house. What's up? Ahoy. Ensar in the house. Ashwin in the house. Ashwin says Thiago Motta trouble year. Balkan Warrior says his favorite goal was the Eriksen free kick in the last minute. Ooh, now that is a nice one. That is that's a nice pick, especially for what it meant, not to just Inter, but to Eriksen himself. That comeback story, that that goal started the whole beautiful story of Christian Eriksen at Inter. Bruno Brigrom last year, that was a nice one. Yeah, that's a good one. Completely burning past Romagnoli, and yeah, Joseph seems to think the same. Especially, yeah, actually, mentioning that game, the first goal that we scored in that game, the beautiful build-up, if you remember, that was just beautiful. That was just Conte ball at its peak, building up from the back, those memorized patterns. Hakimi bringing it up, then to Eriksen, then to Perisic, then to Lautaro. Boom, beautiful goal that was. Kiss, chef kiss for sure. Mehdi, hello from Casablanca. Nice. Some Moroccan love in the house. Nadim says Hakan's free kick on Saturday is my favorite. Oi, don't get me gassed. If Hakan scores a free kick on Saturday, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably take my top off and start. Oh my goodness. That's the stuff of dreams. That's really, I mean, his penalty in the first derby with his ears out, listening and taunting the Milan fans was already, beautiful. But a free kick would just take it a notch, because Milan fans always they make fun of his, even though he's known as a free kick specialist, they make fun of his free kicks, because over the years at Milan, I think he scored one or two, but like I think it was one of them. I remember it was a deflected type of free kick, and maybe he got another one in his 4 years at Milan. But yeah, he didn't really do much for them in terms of the free kicks. But that would be just amazing if he did that. Hakan, yeah, the penalty was a nice one as well. The Hakan's penalty, just not obviously visually or like as aesthetically, but just the meaning of it, just the fact that we can rub it in to the Milanisti who were criticizing him and us in the build up to that one. Caicedo winner, Mustafa says, hey man, another one that would be amazing. Hopefully it doesn't get to that. I mean, that would just be because Caicedo's winners usually come in like the 93rd minute or something like that. The Zona Caicedo, as is known in Italy now, because he's known to score these last minute or even, you know, additional minutes type of goals. But you know, that means that we're suffering until the last few minutes, and I rather not have that. I rather have a I rather have a more comfortable derby, to be honest. The last one was pretty stressful. Oh, King Marion in the house with the legendary one, Ezekiel Schelotto crying after scoring. That was a pretty nice header, to be fair. I mean, that link up in general was Nagatomo to Schelotto. It was a nice Nagatomo cross to Schelotto. I mean, that derby in general was such poor quality in terms of both sides. Like Milan's team was piss poor, Inter's team was piss poor, and we were playing like a 4-4-2 with Schelotto and Ricky Alvarez on the wings. Like, it was the pain that we've been through, man. Yeah, but it's a good pick, and that picture of Schelotto crying after scoring, that is iconic, because, you know, the guy was awful. He was just not into material, but he will be remembered forever for that goal. And it showed how much it meant to him. Like, you know, this is what happens when, you know, proper Inter fans come to the club. You know, it meant something to him scoring that goal. I went back to Fubai Palacio. Oh yeah, Palacio's. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. The Palacio Bacchio, Guarin to Palacio, and he Bacchios it in the last minute. That's a good one. Oh, speaking of Guarin's goal, the one where he takes the ball up for 30-40 yards and then cuts onto his left foot and blasts it past the keeper on his weaker left foot. And I think we won that game. That was the winning goal, if I'm correct. That's a really good one. Freddy Guarin, El Guaro de la Gente. Uncle Sean doesn't want no stress. No, man, I don't want no stress. I've missed Inter, and they probably will give me stress, but I'd just rather it not be a stressful match, man. But it's the derby, and that's what it's all about. Back in the house, as Palacio want to pull his hair so bad. Hey, man, you can't touch that. That's godly. That's like, you know, iconic. The rat tail. You can't touch that. Like, the guy said that if Inter won the Scudetto when he was there, which we were never close to, but he said I think he said he maybe would have cut it, but he still wasn't sure if he was going to cut it. So that's how important it is to him. But actually, funnily, there's a guy in the Serie A who has that haircut now. Singo, the Torino wingback. If you've noticed, he's got the little rat tail going on. I wonder if it's a shout out to Palacio, if it's some sort of religious thing or some sort of, I don't know, superstition. Not sure. Sanchez on the offside edge, or the one where he cuts it back to Vecino. If that is that the one you mean? That was a good one as well. One guy which was a heartbreak but refresh. Derby Milano is Zapata last minute goal. Icardi crying. Oh yeah. Why are you bringing up the negative ones, man? I don't want to bring up that one. Hey, what's up, Gerald? Yeah, thank you guys. Let me keep commenting down below your favorite goals from the derby, and I'll bring them up periodically through the stream. Let's get into what I want to talk about today. It's not going to be a long stream. Well, I always say that, and it ends up being an hour long. But I want to talk about a few of the interviews that have come out recently in the last couple of days. The first one is Denzel Dumfries. Dumfries, man, what a guy. You know, he's doing what most of us expected him to do, becoming their starting right wing back at Inter. As I said from the beginning, you know, on a personal level, I don't think he's ever going to be my favorite player, but I knew that it was just a smart signing to make. I was happy that we made it over the likes of Zappacosta and these other guys. And yeah, he talks about here the turning point of his season. The goal against Roma, as we know, was the turning point of his season. The Dutchman spoke to Gazzetta dello Sport about the derby and all that kind of stuff. It's been fun but intense months. For me, it was all really new, but from the beginning, I tried to understand as quickly as possible what it's like to be in such a great club, to appreciate all the good things. I talk to the staff, I know my teammates, but above all, I listen, and I learn. And that's what the thing that we always talked about when we signed Dumfries. He was the captain at PSV. Mentality wise, you had a gem on your hands, and he's showing that. And he didn't let the bad things get to him, as he talks about here. The penalty against Juve we talked about, and I always felt like it was quite harsh how it seemed like the fan base kind of turned on him at one point, or even Inzaghi seemed to put him out on the team after that moment, which was harsh because that penalty was very harsh at the end of the day. And yeah, he says that was the hardest moment in one of the most important matches. But the next day, I felt the help of the club. I tried to regain my mental balance. And the week after, if you guys remember, and I pointed it out straight away when that happened, when D'Ambrosio scored and came to hug him, it never happened to me. He said it was a positive shock and emotion. I understood that everyone was on my side, and that's why, D'Ambrosio is such an important player. Not just when he comes in on the pitch, but that experience, that leadership that he offers off the pitch as well. It's just amazing. That's why these are the type of players, this type of mentality. You can't buy that. Let me see if I can bring that picture up for you guys on the screen. There it is. If you guys remember, after scoring against Empoli, he ran straight to the bench to give Denzel a high five. Just a great guy, Lord Danilo. What can you say? Just a great guy all around. Hey Bokar, what's up, bro? Thank you for coming through. Going back to the Dumfries interview here on fcinternews.it. They ask him what was, however, the most beautiful or the turning point. He said the goal against Roma gave me confidence, the turning point. But I also can't forget the Super Cup that has been missing here for a long time. And that was his first trophy here, so he won't forget it in that atmosphere. They asked him about Hakimi's legacy. He gave him the usual kind of spiel, like, respect. I don't want to talk about legacy. I don't want to feel like someone who I have taken the place of. It's my time and I work hard to be up to it. The usual stuff that you say. Role model, and this, usually is mentioned by someone who's signed as a wing back at Inter. Of course, Maicon, especially as a right wing back, I would like to get as close as possible to his levels. D'Ambrosio said it many years ago at the beginning of his time, and he was ridiculed for it at the time. But over the years, he's definitely not been ridiculed anymore. And he quickly spoke about Inzaghi. What strikes him, what he likes is the determination, the passionate way in which he talks about, in which he speaks before the match. He's never seen that before. He is inside the match, as he says. He plays as if he himself is with us, which you always see on the pitch. The guy is pretty much like on the pitch with the players, and he knows. And then we've seen a few players say that he knows how to connect with people. That a lot of them are saying that he's like a brother or he's like a teammate within the team. He's good at connecting with people. It's great to hear. And then ask him about the Italian situation. How is it going with the Italian? He said, have you learned the word Scudetto? And he said, of course, I learned that one. But actually, he says, I stopped the Italian classes for a bit because of the birth of his daughter, which is great news. And also then it also makes sense, because we know with Inter players, as soon as there's a birth of a baby, their form goes through the roof. They become world-class players. We've seen it over the years with so many players, and it makes sense that Dumfries over the last couple of months also had that baby effect. I listen, I read, I try to capture anything. The words I know most are actually, let me how do I untranslate it? Oh yeah, there you go. The words that he knows most are uomo e scivola. The uomo is like, man on type of thing, and scivola is like, when you need to cover someone, so step back. So yeah, those are the most important ones that you need to know. The translation is not quite correct because scivola means slips, but it's more about slipping back, like come back a little bit. I need them to survive on the pitch, of course, but I know what the Scudetto means. And he doesn't mind being considered the favourites. It's a good feeling, but it's about best staying fixed on the goal. And then, he talked about, he knows about what the derby means. He saw it on TV. He saw Stefan de Vrij go a couple of years back when we came back. That was a great header. He doesn't prepare it differently. He always tries to stay switched on regardless of the match, which is good to hear. And this is the most important part of the interview, which I was really impressed by. This is not related to Dumfries; it relates to the whole squad. He says, what have you've been impressed about your teammates most? And he says, I will mention an episode on a day off, when he was injured, he came to a Piano Gentile for physiotherapy. I thought I was alone, and instead I found 12, 13 of my teammates there already at the training ground. I was amazed. In Holland, this doesn't happen. Rest is rest, but it made me understand the level of professionalism in this team, and that's really the key takeaway from this whole thing, where this team, that's what we talk about. After Antonio Conte left, it was like, we said Conte's left, but it doesn't mean that he's left that mentality behind. These players now are winners. And this is a winning mentality. This is a champion mentality, coming in on your day off and showing this as an example now to Dumfries, who maybe, as he said, he hasn't seen this before. He hasn't seen players coming in on days off like this. And he says, not even like 1 or 2, 12 to 13, like that's the whole starting 11 there. And you can probably imagine who those players are. You just know who those consummate professionals are within this team. You can imagine it probably was, the De Vries, the Skriniars, the Perisic's of this world, Barella, these types of characters, Ranocchia, even the guys who are probably not starting, just consummate professionals. And that's so amazing to hear, that we have these characters in the team. Yeah, the Denzel interviews was great. Good guy, strong mentality. Sharma respect Denzel, the Mercedes. Hey man, I respected him from day one. It's just, as I said, he's not my technical type of player. As soon as I see a bad touch from him, I'll be back on the brick freeze hype. But no, I'm loving what the freeze is doing for this team, and it looks like he's favorite to start ahead of Darmian for the derby. But we'll talk about it tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm doing a preview stream with Martino Puccio, a AC Milan fan, who's going to come in and give us the lowdown from the red side of Milan. My favorite goal against the Cousins is always going to be the next one. I like it. Hoedi, yeah, thank you. I have just had my fresh trim just before this stream. Yeah, that Icardi late header was good. That was good. The Vicino cross to Icardi, as Ziza says, exactly. Recovery, as our idol Davido would say. What's up, Tommy, in the house? Dambro is a real hero. It's exactly, we in here. What's the word? That's nothing. Just hyping up the derby, my bro. Just talking about the few interviews that the players have done and hyping up the derby. Zizo, thank you very much for the contribution. I always appreciate anyone that always does this. Thank you very much. I don't know what else to say. Forza Inter. Someone get a baby before the Liverpool game. Yeah, Bastoni's just had one, so I'm guessing Bastoni's gonna fly to the moon with his form soon. White Suburban Kid, what's up? Mane and Salah still at AFCON. Yes, good news for us, staying right until the end. And I'm hearing even with Koulibaly, who's also at the AFCON, that they might have to quarantine for 7 or 10 days even after they come back. So that might be good news on that front as well, in terms of the Napoli game. And in terms of the Napoli game as well, I saw Chucky Lozano was taken off, stretched off with a shoulder injury, or dislocated shoulder or something, or collarbone, which is probably going to mean he's out of the Inter game as well. And he's not a player particularly rare anyway, Lozano, but he is important for Napoli, so that could be not good news for him, of course. We wish him the best, but good news for Inter in terms of them missing a big player. So yeah, this not as that many bad news for Inter injury-wise. We need Egypt to beat Onana's Cameroon this evening. Why do we need for Salah to go as far as possible? I don't know. I'd like for Onana to get to the final and get a trophy, get some confidence under his belt. We need him to be playing more games, to be honest, before he comes to Inter. He's very rusty. Denzel is a very likable character. I agree. Denzel has surpassed Domian. I agree. Almost Cameroon sent Salah home. Yeah, I'm on the Cameroon hype, man. Jerome coming in from Barbados. What's up, brother? The first derby I watched was when we lost 1-2 last season. Hey, man, that's not good. That's not good introduction. But that was when Conte was still experimenting with his 3-4-1-2, high line, high pressing, and Colorado was playing there. So yeah, in the end, in the second one afterwards, we kicked their ass. Milan ain't worried to Lord Figo, my Scudetto, my Supercoppa, my Scudetto. What's up, bro? Vidal needs to have that baby for the Liverpool game. Hey, yeah. And I think, Vidal or Gagliardini, one of those two, the ones that are going to have to step in for Barella, one of those two needs to have a baby quick. With this derby, we could put this race to bed. Yeah, definitely. As I've said before, after this busy-ass February period, if we're top of the league after this period, I don't want to say that we've won the Scudetto, but you could almost guarantee that Inter won the Scudetto, because after that, the schedule, the fixtures for Inter are on a downward trajectory. You only have Juventus and Roma in the league left after that as the big matches. So yeah, it's this derby, and I don't think after this derby the race is put to bed, but I think you kill Milan's hope for sure. I think Milan's definitely, you kill their hype, you kill their confidence. Robbie, I am gonna try. But probably not, because it's very hard to get Liverpool tickets. And if I do, I'm hearing that it'll probably be easy to get them in the Liverpool section, which I wouldn't mind either, even if I get to watch in the Liverpool section. I'm gonna try though. I'll try. I've got a few friends that are trying to help me. Who is faster, Denzel or Hakimi? I think there's no argument there. Hakimi 100%. In the short distance and long distance for sure. Like, Hakimi is just ridiculous. I think Denzel's got more a powerful run. Like, he's gonna be, you can't out muscle him once he starts running. He's just like a train. But yeah, no arguments on that one. Gagliardini needs to get, yeah, exactly. Hey, we got your Trini neighbor in the house from Kirby. Onana to go final. Salah still playing for third place. Yeah. I think the Egypt-Cameroon will go to penalties. Probably, yeah. They've been very close, the matches, to be honest. Yeah, that's true. Salah still staying at the AFCON would be good for us. Next interview I want to quickly talk about. I don't want to spend too much time on it, because now technically he's not our player, but yeah, he's still our player, but he's going to be at Sampdoria for the next 6 months. Stefano Sensi was interviewed regarding his new move to Sampdoria. All'Inter sono stato bene. In Italia resta ancora la più forte. So, Inter have been really well, and Inter still remain the strongest team in Italy. Wait, let me translate it to English. He spoke to Gazzetta, and he says, yeah, that goal, we maybe, maybe I did the same as well, but after he scored that goal against Empoli in the Coppa, we maybe created this potential Eriksen type story that, this could be his comeback moment, his, redemption story. But it wasn't. He said that even after that goal, he already, decided, or even before that goal, that he was leaving Inter to get more playing time. He says, it didn't change anything in that sense. I entered the field doing what I had to do. I'm a professional. It was my duty. But I was pleased because it was really good for Inter anyway. And Inter were really good to me, teammates, clubs, fans. They all treated me very well. So scoring a decisive goal was nice. So, shouts out to his professionality there. However, my thinking didn't change. I already wanted to come here, as in Sampdoria, and the contact had been initiated the previous week. We knew he was pretty much on the way to Sampdoria, so it was a surprise actually that he even took the field that day. Then he talked about that he might even play and I mentioned this, that he might even play as a attacking midfielder in Giampaolo's 4-3-1-2. He plays diamond formation. At Inter, he was the mezzala, as we know. He's played all the midfield roles in his career, but the new coach has mentioned that he might use him as the trequartista. So that will be interesting to see where he plays. And then the other most interesting part of the interview actually was, as we know, he's actually been fit for a while, and that's why I said send him out on loan, because Inzaghi clearly doesn't trust him, and he said that I've been fit, I've been very well for a long time. We all know what I went through. Yeah, we know, Stefano, we all know what we went through. Having faith in you and your body, it was not easy, but it helped me to grow, to improve, and also give more importance. So this was the important part, more importance to prevention and to strengthen myself physically. So he's alluded to maybe he's starting to do some things differently. In football, sometimes we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. It's always easy to judge, to say, they should do this, they should do more this, they should spend more time doing this, but we don't know what actually goes on behind the scenes. With Sensi, there's always rumors that this guy plays a lot of Fortnite, or he spends a lot of time gaming in his spare time, which maybe he should be doing more of other stuff to help himself, his body, and stuff like that. So maybe he's actually started to do that now. But at the end of the day, if these injury-prone players, I don't know how much they can actually do this to prevent injuries happening to them. But again, he kind of alludes to maybe it being his fault, maybe at the end of the day. He said, I don't think the injuries were bad luck. Clearly, every player would like to play and feel good, but it's also part of our job. Yeah, of course. There were 2 very difficult years, but they also helped. I understood how I have to behave to get in shape for the Sunday, as in for the game. So again, he's alluding to perhaps doing things differently off the pitch now. So maybe, the rumors about him not being a model professional off the field maybe were true, and he's admitting to that. And he's saying, I'm not thinking about the World Cup in terms of, they talked about, Mancini, who pushed for this move, Roberto Mancini, the Italian national team coach. He says, yeah, he gave me that extra boost. I already wanted to come here strongly for a matter of personal revitalization and the prestige of the club. Sampdoria, historically a pretty big club in Italy. The coach's words made me very happy. They were positive. He made history here. Mancini is a legend at Sampdoria. So, yeah. And actually, the last goal he scored in Serie A was against Sampdoria. And that was 3 seasons ago now. You don't realize. I mean, that's what I say a lot of the times. This guy hasn't been a professional footballer almost for 2 years, you could say. And that's the last league goal he scored for Inter. So, and say, could it be a sign of destiny that this is where, things open up? And that wasn't even like a thingy. It was a shot from outside as Sanchez. Yeah, it was like a deflected shot as well, wasn't it? Wait, wasn't it him? No, I can't remember. It was either Sanchez who hit it at him, or he hit it at Sanchez. I can't remember. But yeah, it just shows you how long he's really been an actual contributor to this team. So I hope he does well out there, man. He needs the game. He needs the minutes. And yeah, as I said, give me 10 games without getting injured. Give me 10 consecutive. Maybe it doesn't even have to be consecutive, but just like, give me minutes, 60, 70, 80 minutes on a regular basis at a good level. I don't care about his goals or assists. As I said, even if he comes back with 0 goals, 0 assists, I just want this guy to be actually show that he's able to play football on a good level and at a consistent level, physically being reliable. That's all we really want. I mean, the bar is on the floor for him, but that's what we're looking for from Stefano. Cody, what's up? He says he was thinking about making the trip for the UCL, but tickets to the game are more than Colorado, USA to Milan. Oh, wow. Yeah. Champions League games are very expensive, and especially in Italy at the moment, because they have the capacity hasn't been opened up fully. I think now it's back to 50%. It was reduced to 5,000 for January, but I think it's back to 50% now. And then they're talking about maybe increasing it once again to 75%. But I guess that makes the tickets even harder to get because there's that reduced capacity. Yeah. Cody says he's happy for Sensi to get regular minutes. Hopefully he can get back to match fitness and hopefully return. Yeah, exactly. Inzaghi subbed in Vidal and then Vecino against Venezia. If he got a chance in that game, there would have been a good chance to convince him to stay. Yeah, maybe. But even then, getting 10, 20 minutes, I don't know if that changes his mind to get minutes. But yeah, the fact that, again, he didn't get any minutes that time just shows you that he's last in the pecking order in midfield. Yeah, same here, Aid. We hope that he will be back next season in the best version. Also, one thing there's no talk about, Sensi is expecting a baby and moving in the middle of pregnancy of his wife is a big sacrifice to make sure that he has the mentality. Yeah, didn't know about that. Oh, actually, I did see his post. He was kissing the belly of his girlfriend. Yeah, maybe that could be Sensi's turning point once that baby comes, as we said, the inter baby effect. Yeah, I think some of my friends who are part of the Inter Club London said they have received some information on the tickets, so I think they've signed up for them. So I think if you're part of one of those fan clubs, you're able to get the tickets, but I'm not part of any of those clubs at the moment. So, but those are the pre-release tickets. I think the open release are going to come out at some point soon. So that's where I'm hoping to get some tickets. But again, I think it's going to be really expensive. So I don't know. We'll see. If it's stupidly expensive, I'm definitely not. If it's anything like above £800 or anything, I'm not gonna do it. But if I can get them for like £60-70 or something, then I'm willing to go up to like £80 because obviously it's you don't get to watch Inter too often in the UK. Juve fan in the house. Yeah, I think one of us will probably end up signing Frattesi. I don't know who it will be, but Inter at the moment look like our favourites for sure. We'll talk about Trent and Liverpool in the preview. Let's see who is fit, who is unfit then. But I'm guessing that will be Perisic and Hakan on that left hand side. Perisic, Bastoni, Hakan. No worries, Nate. Oh yeah, I'll get onto the Brozovic stuff in a minute. Yeah, we've talked about Dybala a few times already. I don't see anything new to talk about there. If he doesn't renew, we're definitely there, but we're not offering crazy wages at the moment. We're offering exactly what Juve have offered him, 7.5 million net. So I don't really see it happening. I don't know if that turns his head, that type of offer, unless we up our offer to what he wants, which is closer to 10 million. We shall see. I don't see anything new regarding Dybala, but it's definitely one to keep an eye on. Yeah, Gossen's definitely missing the first leg, and I don't even. They're gonna try and get him fit for that second leg, but that's quite a hard match to, unless he gets some minutes before that as well. Like, it's a Liverpool. Is a hard game. They play such intense football. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is when it's handy to be part of these fan clubs, isn't it? When it comes to getting these pre-release tickets, early release tickets, then it's very handy to be part of these clubs. And even if you have got a contact in there, those people obviously are going to try get the tickets. Going to try get the tickets for themselves first rather than you. So yeah, it is what it is. We're just going to have to pay extra if we want to try to go to that one. It's pain. No worries, Mattia. You can always flick back. Dybala would say El Futuro El Capitano. Yeah, we'll see, mate. We'll see. They're not really treating him like El Futuro Capitano. They're not really giving him the confidence and the contract he wants. If you're confident, let's see. I think he might go abroad somewhere. Yeah, let's get into the Brozovic renewal stuff. And yeah, I'll mention the Luis Felipe stuff as well in a minute. I'm not worried, to be honest. I'm still not worried. I know people are starting to get worried about the Brozo stuff. Every week we read like, they're going to announce it this week, they're going to announce it next week, they're going to announce it this game, they're going to announce it that game. It's not happening. But the thing is, apparently they keep saying it's just the last few details that are remaining. So it's the bonuses that they're being talked about at the moment. So he wants around 7.5 million net. Inter, as reported today by FC Inter News, and a lot of other outlets have said that the club have offered him what he wants, but the base that they're offering is 6 million per season. But then they're offering the amount that he wants. They're gonna take it up to that amount by including, the bonuses, like probably appearances or goals or trophies or things like that. They usually take it up to the bonuses, performance based, bonuses. But apparently, at the moment, maybe Inter have made the bonuses a little bit harder to reach. He just wants them to be easy to reach. So probably like, 20 appearances and he gets the bonus, or 30 appearances, he gets the bonus, or top 4 are achieved and he gets the bonus. I guess Inter are playing a little bit hardball in terms of making those bonuses a little bit harder to achieve, which makes sense. So those types of details are not deal breakers. They're little final minute details that can be ironed out. And I've said from the beginning, if Brozovic wanted to leave Inter, he wouldn't have his dad as his agent, like his main negotiator within the deal. He's got his other lawyers and other professionals involved, of course, but he would go to Mino Raiola, he would go to Jorge Mendes, he would go to these, other guys that, spend Pastorello, he would go to these big dogs to get the deal done and get the clubs, use their contacts to get himself to these bigger clubs. To me, that has always been the sign from the beginning that he's not looking to leave. So I am still confident in the Brozovic deal being done at some point soon. I think he wants to stay. That's just my personal hunch. I could be completely wrong. I could be here in a couple of weeks and talking about him having a pre-agreement with a different club. But that's the thing. Right now, legally, he can talk to anyone. After the January 31st, or I think even in January, you're allowed to start talking to other clubs legally, and Inter can't do anything about it because his contract is expiring. So that's that possibility, of course. And I'm sure that there's rumors now. Well, the rumors actually came already in the summer that Barcelona are interested in Brozovic as a free transfer, and they've flared up again recently. I saw a couple of guys, reliable journalists and people tweeting about this, that Barcelona have offered him that 7-8 million net that he wants, or 8 million net, I think I read, and his head was turned by Barcelona. And why wouldn't it be? That's the thing. Barcelona, you could be in the mud as they are right now. They're in the mud. They're possibly going through their banter era at the moment. Financially, they're not doing too great, but that pool is always going to remain. Barcelona's pool is always going to remain. As you've seen, they signed Ferran Torres, they signed Aubameyang. Like the Barcelona pool is going to remain. Under Xavi as well, I guess is a much more interesting project. Brozovic being, maybe the replacement for Busquets, like, that's a good way to sell something to Brozovic. You could be the guy coming in for Busquets, but he just needs to look at what happened with Pjanic, how it didn't work out with Pjanic, and other players that have been signed. Like, is that really the place you want to go to? So, yeah, and as Adriano says, build up to the derby. Every time you have to look out for the rumors like these to flare up just before the derby. It's just like such a coincidence, isn't it? Just before the big match comes and you have to flare up these rumors. It's what newspapers, these websites do to get the clicks, get things, get the juices flowing, get the anger flowing, get the people talking about things, and you can't blame them. But this is how it works, and I think this is just what is happening right now with the Brozovic stuff. And at the same time, they're doing the same about Kessie. They're talking about how Kessie apparently is not, talking about he's not going to renew. He's not going to renew his deal, to be honest. And yeah, maybe if that doesn't happen, then you could look at Kessie potentially being a replacement, as Gerald's talk about here. Anguissa as well potentially could be, but then you're talking about completely different profiles. Then you're talking about more, they're not more registas anymore. When you're talking about in that role, you're talking about more like destroyers. they'll play that role completely differently to how Brozovic plays it. So if those are the options, which are potential good options, but I'd rather keep Brozovic for sure. And he is, for me, as I said, he's been our player of the season until now. When Brozovic renews, I'll get a Brozo jersey made. I like that, Benjamin. I like that. We took that risk by not selling Brozovic last summer. Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think there was any big offers at the same time. You only sell him if there was any good offers on the table. I think we should renew Handanovic, Skriniar, D'Ambrosio, Dzeko first. There's no need to renew Dzeko. He's only on a 2-year deal and he's 35. We'll see. Handanovic will be discussed soon. Skriniar will be discussed soon. D'Ambrosio and Ranocchi, I think they'll wait until the summer like they did last year, where they'd give them that 1-year extension like they did. And yes, Mattia, thank you for reminding me and everyone. Hit that like button for sure. If Caicedo does great, Inzaghi will most likely beg Pepe to give him a 2 to 3 year contract. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll probably will. And I wouldn't mind it. Like, he's, as I said, he's that 4th, 5th choice. It doesn't really matter too much to me who that 4th, 5th choice guy is. If Inzaghi wants him to be that guy, who do you prefer as a manager for Inter, Conte or Inzaghi? Right now, Inzaghi, as I said, I love watching this interplay. The style of play that we play, less drama in the press conferences, less slander on the directors, on the players, and all that kind of stuff. Just more positive vibes altogether. So right now, I'm definitely preferring Inzaghi's Inter. Brozovic has the opportunity to be as great as Kuchu. Hope he stays. His loyalty has been very admirable. Yeah. I think over the years he's definitely improved that side of his game, his reading of the game. The Kuchu, comparison is really, really good, because over the years he's really improved on that. Like, Kuchu was a guy who read the game so well, even when his legs started to go pretty quickly, pretty early on. His reading of the game just became how he relied to stay at a high level. And I think Brozovic, he's not the quickest player, and I think over the next few years we'll see him slow down further. But I think his reading of the game will help him stay at a good level. Other things to quickly touch on: if you saw, one of the guys that was linked with in the summer, Gleison Bremer, actually renewed his contract with Torino just the other day, or yesterday even. But it's not really, it is kind of bad news, because then it's only a 1-year extension, by the way, so it takes him up to 2024. So it's nothing, there's not like a long-term commitment like Belotti did back in the day. So this just gives Bremer, so it's more like you could say like a loyalty move to Torino. Is like, if you only had 1 year left on the contract, Torino can't ask for much. So yeah, this gives Urbano Cairo, the Torino president, more power when it comes to negotiating with buyers in the summer. But it doesn't mean that Bremer doesn't leave this summer. It just gives them more power to get more money. And he, according to reports, he has a verbal agreement with Inter, but we haven't talked with Torino, so that means nothing to me, really, having a verbal agreement with Torino. With Bremer, because that just leaves Inter needing to reach an agreement with the club. But that's the biggest part. The agreeing with the club is the biggest part. Agreeing with the player is easy. And there is a lot of interest for him. AC Milan is known to be interested today. Even Bayern Munich apparently came forward to be interested. Juventus are also heavily interested. Apparently they've made him one of the number 1 targets for the summer as well. And if he doesn't come, as Benjamin mentioned earlier, Luis Felipe is being mentioned as the plan B, which I spoke about Luis Felipe at the beginning of the season. I actually was I was looking at Luis Felipe potentially, because he's going to be a free transfer from Lazio. And today, actually, the report came out that Luis Felipe, it looks like he's not reaching an agreement with Lazio for a contract renewal, because he wants more than 2 million net a season, which is probably what Inter would offer him. So it makes sense, 2 million net for one of our backup free centre-back coming in. Luis Felipe makes sense. But I can't be the plan B to Bremer, because Bremer is supposed to be the De Vrij replacement. That's as Adriano says, Bremer is supposed to be the De Vrij replacement. So if you manage to sell De Vrij, and that depends if someone actually comes forward with a good offer for De Vrij. It's not, we all talk about, potentially selling De Vrij, but first of all, someone has to come forward with a good offer. We're not selling him for 10, 15 million, and someone has to offer at least 20, 25 million for De Vrij. And then you can use that money to go for Bremer. But you're not going to spend 20, 25, 30 million, whatever Torino going to ask for Bremer for him to be a backup. First of all, Luis Felipe on a free transfer at 2.5 million net, that makes sense as a backup. And that's why the Ginter rumors have died down, because apparently he wants around 4.5 million net. And is he going to be a starter? Not really sure. That's the thing. You can't have Ginter as the backup for 4.5 million net. That's too much. And also, I don't think even De Vrij doesn't earn that much. Bastoni doesn't earn much. I don't even think Skriniar earns that much. So you can't give that to Ginter if he's not even going to be the starter. So that's why you have to think about it in terms of that. That's why Luis Felipe makes more sense as a free transfer, but it has to be as a backup. I don't trust Luis Felipe to be a future starter at Inter. I've watched him this season. I know he's in a 4 at the back formation. I know Lazio have been stinky in general. They play a high line, different. He looked better under Inzaghi in the 3, and he probably will perform better under Inzaghi at Inter in the 3. And he's got time. He's 24 years old, which is quite young for a centre-back, so he's got his best years ahead of him. Centre-backs improve in the later years. And he has room for improvement. He has potential, but what I've seen of Luis Felipe I've not been impressed this season. And on a human level, we saw what he did with Correa. He robbed us in the wrong way as well. So he's going to have a lot of making up to do if he signs for Inter. But I guess Tuchel gets his friend at least. And our last few deals with Lazio as well haven't been particularly great. So I'm unsure about that. But we'll see what happens with Bremer. I as I said, I put him in my Serie A team of the season until now, because I feel like he has been, out of the top 4 teams, he has been the best centre-back in Serie A. Aside from Skriniar, Tomori, Koulibaly, all these guys, he has been so good. If you sign Bremer, you can take up your defensive line 10, 15 yards up, because the guy, the aggression he brings, the way he intercepts balls, how he wins tackles, he's a modern, aggressive, athletic centre back. Whereas De Vrij is a lot more calculated, much more. He bases the game on the reading of the game, and he's always ready to step back away from the defender. Obviously, he doesn't have from the attacker, because he doesn't have that pace to take him on 1v1. He's a lot more of a cautious defender, whereas Bremer is a front foot defender. So we'll see what happens. No, I didn't say just 25 million for De Vrij, but I'm saying a minimum. We're talking about at least, you come to us to talk about it. But the thing is with De Vrij, you can't ask for too much, because he'll be in the last year of his contract this coming year. That's why. So obviously, if we're talking about De Vrij, really and truly, he's a at least 30, 40 million euro player. But because he's got an expiring contract, you can't ask for too much. The negotiation table, you haven't got the leverage. But you never know. He might end up signing a new contract, De Vrij, because I know that his agent is Mino Raiola, which to me means that he's either going to ask for too much money or too much commission, or he's just going to be, going to look for a move. Also hoping that Mino Raiola is well, because I heard he was in the hospital still feeling unwell. So hoping he makes a good recovery, Mino Raiola. Ricky Boaz in the house, appreciating the fade. I appreciate you, bro. No worries, Narazzurri NL. De Vrij is worth 50 mil, Bastoni 75 plus. Yeah, definitely. I've always said Bastoni is worth Van Dijk money. You come to us with world record money, because you can't. First of all, he's a left-footed centre-back, which is quite rare to find, but a left-footed centre-back that is really good on the ball, midfield. He's the midfielder level of ability on the ball, but also good defensively. Don't forgetting that. the age. Like there's so many factors that come with Bastoni that if you want to take him off us, it has to be those Van Dijk, Maguire, Ruben Diaz, those types of money, that type of money that we're talking. Yeah, of course, those are going to be the priorities in the summer. The Vecino and Gagliardini's staying. Vecino's going to leave, his contract expires, and Vidal is leaving. So the replacement for those two is definitely the priority, and the centre back. Which one is more dangerous, Giroud or Rebic? For me, definitely Rebic. Even though he's definitely he's a very inconsistent player at times. He's a bit of a headless chicken at sometimes. But at this stage of his career, Giroud. A few years ago, I would have said Giroud for sure, but right now, definitely Rebic. Yeah, I mean, Premier League tax, man, English player tax. No, you can't ask me that one, Ricky. Those two are my two unsellables. I've always said you can sell anyone else in the team, potentially, maybe even Skriniar if it's like a ridiculous offer, but Bastoni, Barella, these are the two untouchables because they are the future of Italy and Inter. Those are the two untouchables. I can't answer that one. Yeah, that's the thing, Filippo. Thank you for coming through, and thank you, by the way, for becoming a new member of the channel the other day. And your donation has been made to the Fondazione Pupi charity. There hasn't actually been any confirmed interest from anyone, as far as I know. There's only rumors, obviously, because of the Conte being at Spurs. There's going to be the obvious connection of Conte, De Vrij, and Paratici clearly is looking to Serie A for his signings at Spurs. So I think it just makes sense that that's going to be the obvious link. But other Premier League teams, Newcastle apparently were interested in Brozovic, so I wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle, if they stay up, to be linked with him. But I don't see De Vrij making that type of move straight for money. Just any other, Premier League teams, Everton, they all have money to spend, man. It's crazy. So there's no confirmed interest in De Vrij, but I think definitely Premier League. I think he'll be good. I think he'll improve any defense in the Premier League. I don't think he's particularly suited, to be honest, to a Premier League style of football. But I definitely see him, improving a lot of the Premier League defenses out there. Sky Sports tax plus EPS tax plus English passport tax. That's it. Equals plus 50 million on the price tag, Deepak. That is the equation. Perfect. Spot on. That is the equation. Leao and Teo are the ones to look out for. Yeah, don't worry, Nicola. Tomorrow, preview with Martino Puccio, as I said, Milan fan, on the channel at around about this time tomorrow. Yeah, Anad Singh, De Vrij should easily go for 40 million, but because his contract expires at the end of next season, the leverage isn't there, and his age is going to be 30. He's 29, so he's going to be 30. So that's why. Yeah, definitely is going to be the midfield battle for sure. I believe Kessie is back. I think Benacer is back for them, so it's definitely going to be the battle in there. And yeah, speaking of quickly touching on the derby for tomorrow, before the preview tomorrow, Alexis and Toro came in with great form in their international break. No injuries. Alexis didn't get injured. Thank the Lord. It worked. Our prayers worked. Usually Alexis goes to Chile international duty and gets injured in some way or shape. But this time he performed really well, but he didn't get injured. 2 goals, an amazing free kick, and a nice goal in open play. Alexis stepping up for his country as he usually does. The guy is still, so important for them. We as Inter fans want him to retire from international duty, but Chile still really need him because they're going through a bit of a weird phase at the moment, Chile, because they had that, golden generation in a few years ago when they won the Copa America, when Vidal and Sanchez were at their peak. They had Edu Vargas, Isla, Medel, Boschazio. They had like a good team, solid team, Bravo in goal. But, now it's that same generation pretty much still playing, and they're all much older, and they haven't really had good talent coming through, and they still rely on Vidal and Sanchez. So I guess they still rely on the guy, and he can't yet retire from international duty. But as long as he can stay fit, he's super important. But Lautaro also scored 2 goals for Argentina. He scored them 1 in each match, whereas Sanchez scored 2 in 1 match. And yeah, Lautaro, his goal scoring for Argentina is crazy. If he could bring that goal scoring for Inter, it would be amazing. But Lautaro is back in Italy today, so he took his flight and he's back in Italy today, as per the reports. Whereas Sanchez is going to be back later tonight at some point. So he's gonna, or maybe tomorrow morning. I can't remember, but yeah, he's gonna have that little bit longer or less time to recover from the jet lag, from the time zone recovery. And they're only going to have the training session tomorrow, which is going to be a de-fatiguing or like a very light training session for them, because they're coming from these big travels and stuff. So they're not even going to actually manage to take part in the team training, those two. And for that reason, Lautaro apparently is favorite at the moment, because he's got a little bit more rest period at the moment. And Sanchez looked dead out. Actually, I saw a clip of Sanchez at the end of the Chile match against Bolivia, where he was like he had his hands on his knees, like really tired, like knackered. Because they had to win Chile, whereas Argentina already qualified, so it was a little bit more of a relaxed vibe, I guess, for Argentina, where it never really is, but it was. So for that reason, I think Lautaro is favorite. But as you guys know, if you're on this channel, I'm not a fan of the Lautaro-Dzeko partnership. It just, there's zero chemistry from those two, and Inzaghi really likes it, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be the starting two. But it makes sense if Sanchez isn't, fully recovered from his travels, and he always is good as a substitute as well. Yeah, we might need to bring out a white and light blue kit for Lautaro to start performing the way he does. He knows that he doesn't perform for Inter, but for the way he does for Argentina. 100% Bremer, man. 100% Bremer. Luis Felipe, as I said, this is a backup guy. If you bring in Luis Felipe, then I'm guessing we're keeping De Vrij. Primavera also. They won 2-1, I believe, over the weekend. I saw the highlights. Yeah, I haven't really kept up too much with the Primavera this year, but I just watched the highlights. So Carboni and Jurgens, you say, yeah? Okay, I know that Casadei, he's like a tall goal-scoring midfielder. He's the one who's caught my eye. But I'll keep a lookout for Carboni and Jurgens, as you've mentioned them. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I made a video of Lautaro a couple of months back, if you guys remember, talking about how is he performing really. And, when you look at it, the stats are saying that he's performing well. Goals per minute, XG, goal conversion, he's doing well. But the problem is, sometimes he goes missing from the matches. And also if you he's got 0 goals in the Champions League. We can't just ignore that. We can't just take in just the league goals. We have to take in the Champions League performances as well. And in the Champions League, he has 0 goals. So that's where the doubts coming up with the Lautaro. And of course, he had a stinky derby last time round as well, missing the penalty, missing chances. But I'm a Lautaro fan. I'm always going to back Lautaro. This season he's disappointed me a little bit, because my expectations with Lautaro are very high. That's why. But I'm sure he's going to be, a very big contributor in this match. I have faith once again, Lautaro, to step up for us. Lautaro Sanchez and Dzeko Tuku are the best duos. Yeah, I mean, with Dzeko Tuku, again, we haven't seen it for long enough. They look good against Roma when they started, the both of them, but then Tuku got injured. Lautaro Sanchez, we know from the Conte era that's the best duo. But this under Inzaghi, I still don't know exactly which one my favorite duo is, to be honest, until now. Adriano, thank you. Became a YouTube channel member. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. As I said, the first pledge of your month goes to Fondazione Pupi, which is run by Javier Zanetti and his wife. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Always coming with great content and tweets. Thank you. Appreciate that, for the love. How do I become a channel member? Balkan Warrior, there's a button somewhere down here that says join. I don't know if it's there or not, but don't worry, it's not. Don't feel like you need to do it. It's just a way to support the channel. It's no obligation at all. I have feeling Lautaro will bang a goal against Liverpool. To be honest, hey man, he has to make up for his 0 goals in the group stage. That would be the best way to make up for it. Lautaro is in good form, yeah. So hopefully he can continue that good form and bring it over to us. My favorite is Lautaro Alexis at the moment. Yeah, I think we can't. The problem is I don't think this Inter team at the moment can do without Dzeko, what he brings with his aerial ability, bringing down the ball, link up ability. I think Dzeko has to be there. That's the issue. I agree, and I really like Correa. Well, not really like, but I like what I saw of Correa, Lautaro as well against Napoli. But if you put a gun to my head, I don't know which one I would start in like a final at the moment. It's just I know Inzaghi would start Dzeko and Lautaro. That's his. We saw in the Supercoppa he started Dzeko, Lautaro. That's clearly his favorite starting duo if both are fit. But personally, me, I don't know who it is. Wow, another channel member. Thank you, Mehdi, man. Eminem Production in the house, of course, a long time subscriber. Thank you very much. I don't know what to say. Thank you very much for the support. That's all I can say. Thank you guys today. Lukaku leaving defo affected him. Yeah, I guess you could say he was definitely the guy. The chemistry he had with Lukaku was next level. Is definitely the best striking duo in Europe, wasn't it? But at the same time, we thought that he could, he was providing a lot for Lukaku. So we thought that now that Lukaku isn't there to hog up the goals and, that final part of the move, maybe it would be him. But we'll see. We'll see how he progresses. But he's still young. Is Darmian Dumfries? It looks like for the moment, Dumfries is favorite. I will be watching, yes, Cameroon and Egypt as soon as I leave now. And yes, I 100% agree with my boy Christian Vargas. Serie A. I know some people disagree with me. I know some people say Champions League should be up at the top because of the prestige. But now, man, this is priority number one. Getting that second star right there is the priority out of all the other things. Everything else is a bonus to me. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for joining me. An hour-long live stream. As I said, it was going to be quick, but as usual, you guys are so interactive, so I ended up doing them for a little bit longer. Thank you, every single person that joined me today. Appreciate you all. Thank you to all the new channel members today. Appreciate your support. See you tomorrow. Make sure tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. UK time, Inter versus Milan derby preview with a AC Milan fan. So it'll be a great insight. If you want to ask your Milan-related question to the Milan fan, it'll be a great chance for you to do that. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. Ciao, ragazzi. Forza Inter.